Are you prepared for Season 4? If you haven't done these things before the season starts, hop on the game right now, get these things done to set yourself up for success. By the end of this video, you're going to have everything that you need to know to make the strongest character you can right at the start of the season. Welcome to the Gaming Legion. I'm your host, Cliptus, and if you're new to Diablo 4, welcome. The very first thing that we're going to cover is going to be for you. If you have not done your Renown yet, get it done. This is super important. What is Renown? Let's hop into the game and I'll cover the whole system and how it's really going to affect your character and how much stronger you're going to be by the time you complete it. Now that we're in game, let's cover the whole thing. Renown is a reputation-based system for each of the zones in Sanctuary. It has 5 stages, and each stage offers you different rewards. Let's dive into what those rewards are and how it's going to increase your strength. At the top of your map here, you're going to see View Rewards. Open up that menu, starting at level 1. For me, these are already complete, but when you start a brand new game, these won't be checked off. Every level is going to give you bonus XP and gold, but that's not the important part. If you look below it, you gain skill points, potion capacity, additional skill points, max opals, which will actually be very important in the next season, and 4 paragon points. Now that's just one zone. Every single zone, you get the exact same amount of rewards as you complete it. And this means that you will gain an additional 10 skill points. So if you don't go out and do your Renown, your character is missing out on 10 whole skill points. That's massive. It also means that you gain an additional 20 paragon points. Now paragon points are unlocked after level 50. It's an additional skill point system because you only get skill points from level 1 to level 49. After 50, you gain additional paragon points. So if you already have your Renown complete by the time you hit 50, then you gain 20 points automatically right off the bat. So how do you increase your levels? If you look at the bottom here, you see waypoints give you 20 points, strongholds give you 100, side quests give you 30, areas discovered 5, side dungeons are 40, and then altars of Lilith are 10. So if you're new, and this is the first time that you've made it through your Renown system, as you progress through the game, you're going to come across waypoints, so this is going to be a very easy one to find. For areas discovered, when you open up your map, if there is a foggy area over any of the part of the map, it'll look like this if you've discovered every area, but if you still have anywhere on this map that's foggy, you need to discover that to get the Renown points. Strongholds. Going back to your map, these symbols here indicate a stronghold that has not been completed. Once the stronghold is completed, generally you will have a waypoint there, so that'll give you an additional 20 points on top of the 100 points that you already gained from doing your stronghold. Side quests are done by completing the various quests around the map. They're notated in the blue exclamation points that are all over. They also can be found while you kill monsters throughout the world. Certain items will drop. When they're ready to be turned in, you'll find the little areas of blue like this here that highlight. You go to that area to complete your side quest. Side dungeons are found around the map. You'll look by the little gates here. If you see a chest in front of the gate at the very bottom, that means you haven't completed that dungeon yet. It's a great way to keep track of which dungeons you have done and which dungeons you haven't done yet. Altars of Lilith. They're on your map and they look like these here. They are normally tucked away into tiny little holes where you wouldn't normally run past them, but if you're out there looking for them, then you can find them. They won't appear on your map. They only show up after you've clicked on them in-game, and they'll appear gray. Now that seems like a lot to keep track of, and how are you going to find all the Altars of Lilith? That seems like it would take forever. Hours and hours and hours of searching. I have to keep track of every dungeon that I've done. I have to find all the waypoints. I don't even know where they are. I have a solution for you. You'll be able to find these all over the place. They're interactive maps. The one that I really like to use is from maxroll.gg. It's very simple, clean, and is very, very helpful in keeping track of what you want to do. How you use it, on the left here it shows you everything that you've found already. If you go into a zone, when you find an item, when you find a point, you click on it, and it checks it off. This map saves for you. Now let's say you accidentally clicked the wrong one. All you have to do is click on it again, and it unchecks it. This is a great way to help you keep track of everything that you found and everywhere you've explored. So let's say that you decide that you want to focus on just finding the Altars of Lilith. With this map, you can just select here and it will remove all of the other points. So this way, you just have a clean map of just your Altars of Lilith. And then you can go through and then you can check off every single one that you found. Once you're done with your Lilith altars, you can select here you can bring up your dungeons. And if you wanted to select your dungeons, then you go through and then you check off the dungeons that you've done. It's a great tool to help keep you organized. I really loved using this. And the great part about the Renown system is that you only need to do it one time and that's it. So grind through it before you hit the season. So this way, when you hop into the season, you have your 10 skill points already ready when you start your level 1 character. And when you hit 50, you gain your 20 Paragon points. You do not need to complete every single one in order to unlock all 5 tiers. You'll get enough by completing almost all of it, but not quite. If you're a completionist and this is something that you really love to do in a game, go through, complete it all, get those checkpoints. Personally, what I like to do is I like to save the strongholds for the last one, because there's 500 points that you need to move from tier 4 to tier 5. If you do 3 dungeons, you've already checked off a huge portion of it. So that just for me is one of the things that I like to do, because every single level, it gets more and more and more. The only other question that I get about Renown all the time is when people log in on their second character and they've already completed the Renown, they get really frustrated because why haven't they gotten all the rewards? It shows not completed, it shows locked, but they did the Renown system already. If you look down at the bottom, these little check marks indicate that you've gotten the Paragon points and the max ovals. You just haven't received the XP bonuses. So you will have everything unlocked when you start a brand new character. It just shows that you can unlock things if you choose to go and do your Renown again. Number 2, look for an active clan. The game takes on a different shape when you have a lot of people backing you. Now I know a lot of people love to play the game solo, but if you haven't tried playing with a group or playing in a clan, I would highly suggest giving it a shot. The amount of people that I know that have started this game solo and eventually made the jump into playing with other people, or even joining the clan here, have never once said that they would wish they had gone back to being solo. If you try it and it's not for you, it's free to leave the clan. The benefits this season to joining a clan are huge. Leveling now is not only limited to a party of 4. You can have as many people as you want leveling with you with the new method that everyone is going to be using this season. Another benefit, they made legendaries and unique gear tradable, so now if you have a clan with you, you can trade all of that stuff that you find that you may not need but somebody else might need with all of your clan members. If you're playing on console and it's very hard to communicate, which it is, they don't make it easy. A lot of the active clans have Discord servers set up, like mine does. So talking to clan members, finding groups, or trading items becomes a lot easier with a Discord server. My clan's Discord server is at the top of the description of this video. Just click the Discord icon, join up with us. You don't need to join the clan. You can just come run, level, hang out with us. There's a lot of great information there and a lot of great people. The third thing that I want to talk about is gear. This season, gear is changing a lot. Rare gear, or the yellow gear, will no longer be usable after you get access to legendary gear. Gaining access to legendary gear now happens much earlier. Helltides is now available in Tier 1 and Tier 2. The chest from Helltides will drop legendary gear, so make sure you make the most out of Helltides. Get in there right away, start getting your legendary gear to get your character set up. All the legendary gear that you find that you don't need, do not sell it. Make sure you go to the blacksmith and salvage it. All of the salvage legendary gear, those aspects will now transfer to your Codex of Power, so it's really important that you salvage the gear and not sell. A couple tips about gear while you're leveling your character. From level 1 to 35, don't really worry about any aspects or any stats. Find whatever has a green stat, put it on. This is going to make your character a lot more fun to play. You're not too super focused on what you're going to need later on. At level 35 now, they changed it so that you can use sacred gear. Once you hit 35, you can hit World Tier 3 and start getting that new gear. From level 35 to level 50, you can pay a little bit more attention because you're going to start adding your legendary gear in. You're going to start finding the aspects you need. You're going to have everything that's going to start setting you up to clear Capstone and get to World Tier 4. Once you hit level 55, you can start using ancestral gear, and there you can kind of start to form your build. I would really suggest don't put a lot of anxiety around this. Find the gear that you find, use what's best for you, and if you don't have the pieces that you need, don't worry about it. The season's going to be a long one. There's going to be a ton of loot in Helltides, so you'll be able to find it along the way. Enjoy the loot process, spend your upgrade materials sparingly until you have access to the pit and you start running the higher tiers, so this way you have enough materials to continually upgrade. What you can do pre-season to get yourself ready. Pick your class, whatever class you're going to do, familiarize yourself with what primary stats you're going to need on your gear, because there's only going to be 3 stat lines per gear now, so you don't need to look for a lot. After you figured out what you need, now when you hop into the new season, you'll already have a leg up and it's going to be much faster and much more enjoyable to level. I get asked a lot, what's the fastest way to level? So let's cover leveling. Now this is just a bonus because this isn't anything that you can do pre-season, except for maybe joining a clan, which we already mentioned. However, right now, if somebody asked me what's the fastest way to level in Season 3, I would say Nightmare Dungeons. In Season 4, that changes. The simple answer is Helltides. Whether you're a speed leveler or just a casual grinder, this is the place to be. The density is going to be through the roof, like nowhere else in the game at all. The only downside to leveling in Helltides is that you're going to have no glyph XP. Don't worry, because they did make it easier to get glyph XP later on in the game. So if your goal is to get to 100 as fast as possible so you can test out the new endgame, or you want to set yourself up for success later with as much materials as you possibly can, or have access to unlimited gear, unlimited legendaries, Helltides is the place for you. Here's the kicker though. Helltides will be great solo, but it's not going to be as good as having a group around you. That group doesn't even need to be in your party. You just need to be near people for the threat meters. That will be the most efficient and fastest way to do it. Now again, and I know I've said this a bunch, joining a clan is going to help with that because you can have a ton of people around you to invite and join you in Helltides. Okay, back to season prep. For those of you that want to hop into leveling and don't want to worry about learning skills, glyphs, or aspects, this is your solution. Just like the interactive map, there are a ton of build planners out there. All of them have their own benefits, all of them are a little bit different, so you're gonna have to find the one that works best for you. For me, I like using d4builds.gg. I'll have a link in the description for it. If you like to use different ones, let me know in the comments what you use them for, what the benefits are, and why you like them so much. So to show you how this works, I'm gonna go over my minion necromancer that I put together while I was on the PTR. I wanted to have a build put together before I got to season 4. If I wanted to run a necromancer, I already had a plan for it. So if this is your first time building a planner, you start by going to build planner. We're going to make sure we select season 4. This will give us all of the new tempering recipes. Starting from the top here, when you go to the gear, it'll allow you to select what aspect that you want. Coming down here will allow you to put gems in. Then you can put all of your skill points in. And then below, so you can get yourself set up and you already know generally what you're looking for, each piece of gear that's not a unique, you can select which stat you want, and that includes your tempering recipes. It's really, really good to get a good look at these and see what options are going to be here so that you know what you're going to be able to use. Back at the top, we have our options to put in all of our skill points. This functions exactly like the in-game system. So as you put points in, it unlocks more of the nodes, and then you can continue on all the way down through and pre-plan out your skill setup. So this way you can move it around as much as you want. You don't have to worry at all about respec costs or anything at all like that. You can just simply move it around and play with it as much as you want. Back at the top, now we can look at your Paragon board. This is cool because you can just put the glyphs, any glyph in that you want before you even unlock the node. So if you're going to pick a board that you're not sure if you're going to have a good path to find the highlighted nodes that you need, you put the glyph in first, and then you can figure out which way you want to move around the board in order to put it in. These also start at level 21 all the time, so you know exactly where the full radius is going to be. As you add boards in, you can select the boards, and then you can come up to the little corner of the board here, and then you can rotate the board. So unlike in the game, if I didn't want to use this board, all I had to do was hit change board, and then I can swap my boards out, and then I can rotate them back around to where I want them to be. This is a great tool because respecing in-game is a pain, and it takes a long time. You have to reset all of it and then redo it again. So if you want to make sure that you have a great board set up before you do it, check out one of these websites. It's a lot of fun. There's a spot for notes, so if you want to type out anything, just to remind yourself, okay, I want to look for this stuff in Season 4, this is the option for it. Reminders for Season 4. If this method is not for you and you love to jump into a class, as you pick up your gear, you learn your skills, you learn your Paragon points, you learn your aspects, that's perfectly fine too. This is just a really great method for people like me, who I just want to hit the ground running, get my stuff, and get into the pit and try and get to tier 200 as fast as possible. I like to pre-plan before I get into the season. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The final thing to do before Season 4 starts, for those of you that played Season 3, is clear space for your gear that's going to be coming to the Eternal Realm. Blizzard gives you this nice little warning here that tells people that all of the gear will be transferred over at the end of the season, but a lot of people like to just click this close button, completely ignore what they said, and not read it. Once the season ends, all of your seasonal gear gets sent to the Eternal Realm. It gets put into a separate stash that's withdraw only. It'll sit there until Season 4 ends, but then it all gets deleted. If you do enjoy going back to the Eternal Realm, make sure you head back there, grab all the gear that you got in Season 3 because you did work really hard for it. This isn't really a big deal for some people. Myself included, I never play on the Eternal Realm. There are a lot of people that like to go back, play the character that they've already leveled up, and see what they can do on the Eternal Realm versus the Seasonal Realm. So go through it, clear out your stashes, make room on the Eternal Realm to move over all of the gear that's important to you there. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, share it with your friends, pass the word along. I want everybody to be just as prepared as they need to be when the season starts. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch just about every day, and I'll be there on May 14th at the start of the season, probably playing a barbarian, which is what I do every single season. Hopefully, I see you there.